Well, today I'm at a dealer auction with $2,500. I have a Jeep Wrangler at my shop, and I just sold an Audi A4 that we paid $1,000 for, put a little bit of time into, and sold it for $2,500. So today I'm at the auction, and I'm gonna go shopping, and I'm gonna bring you along with me to see what we can come up with for under $2,500 and see if we can make a little bit of money on it. Let's get going. Hey everyone in the YouTube world, my name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Welcome to Flying Wheels and flipping $400 into a Ferrari, where I took just an initial investment of $400, bought one car, roll them one after another until I can finally afford a Ferrari in hopefully under 12 months. So I am at a dealer auction, and yes, you need to be a dealer to come here. If you don't have a license, no entrada. You cannot come. It's a lot of work to get your dealer's license. It's a lot of work to own a dealership, and there's a lot that comes along with it, so it is not for the public. But with that comes some perks. Today I get to go to a dealer auction and shop around. It's my most fun day of the week. It's my most social day of the week. And I really just get to go around and do some car shopping. And you're gonna come along with me. So let's go see what I can find for under $2,500. Now I'm expecting to get something like this right here. This is a 2010 Subaru Forester with 192,000 miles. Now, Subarus are known for head gaskets, timing belts, water pumps, so those are things you really want to check. If you can find a service record for timing belt, water pump, that's a big deal. If you can find them for head gaskets, those are going to be key selling features for any Subaru. The car will basically sell itself if those things were done, and you can ask for more money if you have the record for it. So that's a big one. If they're not done, plan on doing it. If you don't do it, plan on 1,000 people asking you, has the timing belt, water pump, and head gaskets been done? I just painted my Audi A4. I don't really feel like painting a bumper on a Forester, so I'm gonna move past this one. Here we go. This is an 07 Mercury Grand Marquis with 163,000 miles. Super clean. Smells like it was just freshly detailed. This one I'm gonna add to my list. 163,000 miles on this 4.6 liter V8. Does not scare me. This is the Panther platform, the Crown Victoria, the police cars. If the government can buy these as police cars, you know they're reliable. And the good thing about the Grand Marquis is usually old people own them. And old people don't drive hard, except for my grandfather. My grandfather in Florida drives pretty hard.
I go over once and I thought that was your grandmother. Whoa.
But most people don't drive these hard, and they take care of them. So this is definitely on my radar to check out. With 163,000 miles, there's things I'm gonna check, like the seat, the pedals, to see what kind of use. If the brake pedal is worn heavily, that's a lot of stop and go traffic. Also check under the carpet to see where their heel mark is. If someone's foot is doing this from gas to brake, look at my heel. It wears in on the carpet, so you can even see the mark right here. Now imagine doing that for 163,000 miles in 14 years. It's gonna put a wear on the floor. That's a good way to figure out how this car was driven. This right here, 05 Dodge Neon, 54,000 miles, and it's clean. But who the heck wants a Dodge Neon? But I could probably score this for like 1,200 bucks, and I have 2,500, so that means I could buy two cars potentially. Now here's the problem right now. Everything is high. Prices are crazy. If you saw my video last week of why car prices are so high, number one is tax season. It's always expensive in tax season. Number two, stimulus checks. So everybody has a little bit of money from stimulus checks. Number three, people have been sitting home for quite a while, not spending their money, not traveling, so they have a little bit more money to spend. Number four, not as many new cars are being produced as they were in the past because there's a shortage of microchips, there's a shortage of metals and rubber. Anyway, what happened was the car manufacturers that placed consistent orders with these microchip companies, the computer companies, brought their numbers down last year because they weren't able to sell as many cars during COVID. They weren't able to manufacture as many cars. All the tech companies started replacing those orders and taking those orders. So now the new car stores have their numbers back up, but they can't get the microchips fast enough. So there's a shortage of new cars, which means more people are buying used cars, which means there's a more demand, less supply, demand, higher prices. This 17A5, I want it. Obviously not a $2,500 car. So let's just move on. Hey, deja vu, if you saw my Trailblazer SS video, it was in the same shape as this one, but that's not an SS, so let's move on from that one too. Now here's something to think about. When I started my business, I was buying cheap cars. I hate selling cheap cars, but I was buying cheap cars. Cheap cars are easy to sell because somebody with $1,500 will buy a $1,500 car. It doesn't have to necessarily be anything specific, it just has to be a $1,500 car. So you can sell anything. $15,000 car, somebody's very specific. Perfect example, my Jeep Wrangler. I have a Jeep Wrangler that hasn't sold yet. It's been like 2-3 weeks. It's tying up $8,500. I need to get rid of that thing and move on. Now I might make $3,000, $4,000 on it, but I have to sit on it for weeks at a time. I bought that Audi A4, I sold it in a day, and I made like $1,200 on it. So $1,200 in a day, and you keep moving, more headaches with people, or do I invest more money, tie up more money to make double the money, but in 3 weeks? So that's up to you to decide. I want to show you this car right here. This right here is a 1991 Mercury Capri with 103,000 miles. It is a Mercury Capri XR2 convertible. Now, the Mercury Capri used to be a really cool car. It was built on a Fox body platform, which was essentially the same as a Ford Mustang, until this version came out. This right here is essentially a Ford Escort two-door convertible. Let's see if it starts. It's a standard transmission, and in the early 90s, this was the competitor to the Mazda Miata. It was supposed to be an economical little sports convertible. Obviously, this car was originally red, and somebody did a very poor paint job because they didn't even do the door jambs. Clearly, it's been neglected, but it is nice to see something like this still on the road, barely. Whoa, check out this 68 C10, slammed on bags. I got a little desperate and made a mistake, unfortunately. I bought this one right here for $1,400, and it kind of sounds like it has a transmission issue. Oh man, why do I want this thing so bad? Mercury MK4 or something, 91 with 103,000 miles, 5-speed transmission, Mercury Capri XR2. Why do I want this thing? That neon had all these scrapes on the bumper right here I didn't notice before, and the rust right there was pretty ugly. It's probably on the other side too. Here, and way down there, so forget that.
2 hours later.
Well, the auction is over, and I can tell you, not slim pickings. They had a plethora of cars. They had a ton of cars here, but there were over 1,000 dealers, and that is a lot of dealers for this place. That is far above the average amount of dealers that they usually have here. So we were fighting each other tooth and nail to get some inventory. Right now, again, is the busiest time of year, and when I could buy like cheap cars, talking cheap cars like $400 or $500 when I started, those are non-existent because the price of scrap is $600. So you can scrap a car for $600. Why would you sell a car to us for $250, $300, $400? Now, that's not really what I'm looking for, but inexpensive cars were really, really difficult. So like I said, I had $2,500. If I bought two $1,250 cars, I could make $1,000 profit probably on each car. Make $2,000 on 2 cars is pretty great with a $2,500 investment. So that's pretty good return on your money. That wasn't the case today because I couldn't find 2 cars for that price range. And I can tell you that I'm not feeling good about that Infiniti. That would be a good seller if there's no transmission issues, but the way it drove out of there, I don't feel good about this one. I don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling in my stomach. Let's go see what I bought today. I spy my first purchase of the day, a 2010 Honda Accord EX Coupe. This should be a winner, I think. You really can't go wrong with Hondas, especially during times like these. Automatic, great thing. I think it's a 4-cylinder, 115,000 miles. You know the game. Will it start? So far a winner. Now, I did look at this thing before, but here's the thing. These cars run through the lane and we get very, very limited time to look at them. There's thousands of cars here, so like I might not have the opportunity to look at everything that I end up buying today. I end up looking at them in the lane. So I have like 60 seconds max to really look at it. It has the service indicator light on, that's for an oil change usually, tire pressure light, and then an airbag light. The big thing is right there, that is a September 21 inspection sticker, meaning it passed Massachusetts inspection back in September, so that's a great thing. Someone went through this, supposedly. The only flaw I really saw was this bumper right here, but I can take care of that at the shop. Has some cloudy headlights. White I love because it buffs out so well. I don't care how dirty white is. Oh, jeez. Who on earth is driving their car like that? The rears are pretty good. Now this concerns me. I just said it was inspected in September, yet some inspector passed those tires and said it was safe. That is not safe. And right before winter too. Lucky they didn't crash this thing. This side as well is pretty curved on the edge, but it's okay in the center, and we go by the center of the tire. Uh-oh. It's not shifting. I can't get it to shift. Foot on the brake, shift, nothing. I can't even get it out of gear. I can't even, oh, there we go. If I do that, that's why that cover would be off right there. So I'm gonna do that, put it in neutral. So it's most likely a neutral safety switch. I'm gonna start it in neutral, and then I'm gonna put it in reverse. Well, that's annoying. Here's my second, is a 2010 GMC Yukon Denali XL. I love these things. We get the newer seats in 2010. Perforated seats are a little different than the older body style. DVD, not dual DVD. Love the captain's chair so the kids can get in the back. Navigation, backup camera. I buy a ton of these because you sell what you know, right? I have 3 kids and a wife and a dog. We travel, we tow. These things are unreal for family cars. Love them. Let's see if it starts. All right, we're doing okay so far. Here is my buy of the day. Here is the one that I'm most excited about. I absolutely scored this thing because it's ugly. Tons and tons of aftermarket parts, but they're all pretty crusty. But that's the stuff I like to fix. The side steps are crusty. They have diamond plate on here that's kind of, I don't know, fatigued, let's call it. Good tires on it. This oxidation, I'm hoping I can get off. We have some aftermarket rear bumpers that are a little crusty, matching fifth wheel with a Yakima rack. All this stuff I can take care of. 2007 with 117,000 miles in a 5-speed transmission. Oh wait, that's a 6-speed standard transmission, Pioneer stereo. I've actually never owned one of these and I'm pretty excited for it. One owner, no accidents. This thing is a score and it deserves its own video. I'm absolutely gonna do a video on this one. Oh, we got a big spider crack in the windshield, if you can see that right there. This one deserves its own video because it is going to be a gigantic transformation when I'm finished. And I'm gonna make a lot of money when I'm done. Let's see if it starts. Toyota reliability, right? Well, here is my flipping $400 into a Ferrari car for the day. It is an 04 Infiniti G35X, which is a 3.5 liter, 6-cylinder, all-wheel drive with an automatic transmission. Like I said, I really don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling. I know nothing about this car. I didn't look at it before I bought it. I just raised my hand, and then worse, I kind of got into a bidding war because it's a luxury car that was like $1,500. I can tell you, it has a pretty pungent aroma of, let's call it, April 20th. Let's see if it starts. That's a good start to a possibly toxic relationship. Now, I've owned a few of these. The radios used to go out and they'd actually freeze and lock. So oftentimes you'd buy this car and have to replace this entire panel. This looks like a navigation. Oh, I was wrong. Now let's see if it really runs. Let's see if it runs and drives. Something about the way it drove off the auction block made me feel like it just wasn't shifting correctly. I was right. But you know what? It's hopping into gear. So maybe it's just low on transmission fluid. I'm thinking that might be it. It might just be low on transmission fluid. If we're lucky, maybe just a rusty transmission line. Because it's driving fine and it's shifting smoothly once we're moving. But to get it into gear is where the delay is. Uh-oh, we have to go up a hill. Is it gonna make it? Oh, jeez. I really don't feel good about this car. It's really working. Let's see if I can put it in manual. This is bad news. It did come with a cup holder full of Andes mints. I am so tempted to eat this right now. I could go for an Andes mint. Dare me? That right there is a huge bummer. Now, I never, ever buy automatic Nissan transmissions because of the CVT transmission, but that is not a CVT transmission. That is a 5-speed automatic transmission, so I thought I'd be in the clear. I was wrong. Man, I hate cheap cars. I would 100% not have bought that if it wasn't for this series. I don't need those headaches. Those are the headaches that come with buying cheap cars. So remember when I told you that you could net more profit? Basically, your profit percentage is higher on cheaper cars, but they come with way more headaches. All the more expensive cars have no issues, but the cheap cars, it's a complete gamble. Just like Forrest Gump's mama said, you never know what you're gonna get. So the title hasn't shown up yet. I have until 5 o'clock to get the title. If the title doesn't show up by 5, I can return the car because it wasn't announced, no title. That is my last hope for a loophole to maybe back out of this deal and get the heck out of there because I don't need those headaches. Ain't nobody got time for that. Bad news, the title showed up. It's mine, I own it, and the check engine light just came on, which means the dealer that ran it through cleared the check engine light. Give me a freaking chance. At least let me see that the check engine light is on because I absolutely wouldn't have bid on it. But he cleared the light before he ran it through. So I got stuck with it. My own fault. Buyer beware, right? Can't even complain. But it cost me $1,700 for this turd. Now I have to send it to the transmission shop so I can lose money. That stinks. You know, I'm just thinking here, clearing the check engine light before running it through the auction is just like the lowest of the low. You don't even give anybody a chance. If there was a check engine light on, I absolutely wouldn't have bought it. But I got stuck into like a bidding war. When the bid was $800, I wanted the car, and then I just kept raising my hand, not thinking. It's my own fault. But you know what? There's no honor among thieves, right? I should have expected the worst. Here's my take for the day. This is a 2014 Chevy Silverado LTZ. Here's my bummer dud G35X, my Honda Accord, my FJ Cruiser. Next day, we're gonna at least start going through this G35. It's cleaning up really, really well, but it still doesn't drive, so it's a moot point right now. But it's cleaning up well, at least. And then over here, you'll see I have all of these Jeep Wranglers. This one is my $400 Ferrari flip, and I just took a deposit on it today. So I hope that thing sold this week. It should be. Then we get to move on to our next project. Now here's the kicker. I couldn't afford those tires because I was over my budget. So what did I do? I used my credit card. I used my credit card to buy the tires. Don't ever go over your 30 days. If you go past your 30 days, you're paying interest. If you pay it off in under 30 days, it's free money. There's no interest on 30-day payments, so pay off those tires. Now I gotta get rid of that thing. I sold the A4 for $2,500. I bought that for $1,700, which leaves, what is that, $800? So I have $800, which is how much I paid for those tires. Now I get to pay off the tires on my credit card, and I have that Jeep and that Infiniti. Well, hey, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was informative. I hope you have subscribed already. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the little bell. Every time I make a new video, you get a notification on it. As a favor to me, there's a thumbs up button. If you hit the thumbs up button, the algorithm helps boost my video, which means you're helping me create better videos back to you, which is people helping people. It's like a big circle, right? Last thing, if you want to learn how to do this, if you want to get into it at all and start doing it legally, you don't even need a dealer's license. But if you want to learn how to do it legally, without breaking any laws, without cheating, lying, or renting licenses, click down below at www.startyourdealership.com. It's a passion project of mine that I'm almost finished with. I hope to release it in like 30 days or so. Click down below, you'll get emails for when I am finished this thing. And I'm going to teach you guys everything I know, all the secrets that I can't put on YouTube. I'll see you all there. Adios.